It was super scary. It's using things that I've never used before in my life. Sawubona Mzansi. So today I'm just gonna give you a little story of mine, of one of my experiences that I had recently. So I was working on Mzansivam, our new IDE, terminal IDE, that is a flavor or distribution of Envom, Neovom. And what I was working on specifically is the Flutter logs. When we first set it up, it had black and white colors over there, but because we use KenLogger, a debugging tool created by one of the members of Mzansi, and there it gives you different colors. Like if it's an error, it'll give you red. If it's a warning, it's blue or orange. And if it's successful, it will give you a green color. And for some reason, inside Neovom or Mzansivam, the colors weren't coming through. So I was sitting and trying to fix this, but I wasn't having luck on my own. So what I did do is I went through to Gemini, because that's my favorite AI assistant for assisting me with these kind of things. I gave it some of my files and I was asking it some questions, but it wasn't working. I even went to the pro mode, I went to thinking mode, and even fast mode. None of them were working for me. After that, I then went to DeepSeek. I changed it from instant to expert, and I even put on deep thinking mode. It also wasn't helping me. I then went to Claude. I put on one of these, I think it was Opus or something, one of these AI models over there. Also wasn't assisting me. I then went to ChatGPT. Also wasn't helping me. Then I remembered that there's a lot of buzz around coding agents. And I've wanted to dive into the world of coding agents, but I didn't have the correct use case in mind. So I thought this is the perfect opportunity for me to try it. And while I was working with ChatGPT and giving it some of my questions, a pop-up appeared to say try Codex. So I went onto their website and downloaded the application. And it was a scary experience. Let me tell you why. So I downloaded the app, and you can see this is what it looks like. How this differs from your normal chatbots is you give it the entire context of your project. So you can see, for example, I gave it the Neovom file. And from there, you can start chatting to it. And what happens is it spins up an agent, so a little coding AI that will run through your different files and automatically fix things for you. You can see in the chat over here, what I did was I gave it some of the errors that I was facing and asked it to fix it for me. Then you can see it went through my file, it gave me some suggestions on what to use. And then it automatically changed my flutter.lua file, and it added 5 lines of code, and it deleted 1 line. And if we open it up, it'll show you exactly what changed. So I thought, okay, not bad. I was still having some issues. I sent it an image. Then I asked it, can it do something better? Then it said, okay. Then this is where it got scary. It added 26 lines of code, and it removed 4 lines of my code. And I was thinking, okay, no, I still understand what's happening, so it's okay. I approved the change, it carried on. It worked, but not correctly. Not how I wanted it to work. So then I gave it another screenshot. I asked it to fix something that was wrong with it. Then it didn't delete any lines of code, but it added another 26 lines of code. So that's like up to 50 lines of code. So I told it what was wrong. I gave it some image. I gave it some text and showed it specifically what was going wrong over there. Then you can see this is where it got completely scary. You can see 2 files were changed. It removed 11 lines and it added 31 lines of code. And it shows you and it asks you whether to approve or stuff. So it looked fine. It looked scary. It looked like I have no idea what's happening. But I thought, you know what, let me just try and approve this and see what happens. So I approved it. It still wasn't working. And that's why I said, you know what, let me just hold up on this coding agent and let's see exactly, and open it up again and see exactly what it's going through. When I opened my file using Mzansivam, it was a completely different file to the original one. It was scary to me because I felt like I have no idea what's going on over here. It's not in the style that I normally code. It's completely different. It's using things that I've never used before in my life. So it was super scary. So I ended up removing what this AI agent did for me and just reverting back and doing it manually myself, which I felt more comfortable doing. So I wanted to know from you, Mzansi, have you had an experience like that, trying out a coding agent or a coding agent application? And what was your experience like? Was it similar to mine, or did you have a smoother experience? So going forward, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try out Gemini CLI. And Gemini CLI is again, a coding agent, but it's more of a terminal based, not a graphical user interface like Codex. I'm going to try that out, test it out with smaller things, and maybe get a little bit more comfortable with it. And maybe I'll move on to Google Anti-Gravity, which is Google's coding IDE for agents and stuff like that. So let me know in the comments what your experiences are like with coding agents. What tools are you using? What models are you using? And if you want, you can stitch this with a story of yours to let me know what your experience was like. Thank you so much. I hope your experience wasn't as scary as mine. And let's keep working hard, Mzansi.